What's going on, guys? Jay the Black here. Salute to everybody tuning in. Make sure y'all like this video and share it because I'm going to talk about Doja Cat. She is trending on social media again due to her past coming back to haunt her a bit. Years ago, y'all remember when she was in those alt-right, apparently racist chats, and she would go in there and seek the attention of these geeks? And it went viral then, and now it is resurfacing due to various clips of her now streaming on Twitch. And there are people who are also talking about how she may have fell off, how it doesn't seem like she's focused on her music career anymore. She's more focused on being a content creator or streamer. She was almost canceled over that, but at the time Doja Cat was getting a lot of media push. She was being heavily promoted by the industry, kind of like Lizzo. But also similar to Lizzo, there's been a bit of a fall off with her musically. Her latest album, Vi, it basically flopped. And she put that out last year. And over the last couple of months, I've noticed that she's streaming on Twitch more. She has a whole setup in there. And she's basically a streamer now. And one of her first acts of being a streamer is calling out other artists, like she did recently with Tyga. She called him out for apparently making an AI album. He actually responded back to her. And this is where she is. You know, if Doja Cat was as hot as she was 4 or 5 years ago, almost, I don't think she'd ever be doing this. But she was the type of person to be in these chat rooms with these alt-righters, these geeks, right? And just looking for attention, and they really weren't interested in her like that. But if you look at her background, she seems to have a lot of self-esteem issues. You know, she's a biracial female. She doesn't get along with her black father for whatever reason. And she's always seemingly sought the approval of Caucasian people. This is why she was in the chat room, you know, trying to get attention. And it just seemed like a lot of those guys didn't care. She was basically a mascot. And you have somebody who was getting pushed by the media. And even though her name was ascending, she still sought these regular dorks' attention. There's a reason why I'm calling them geeks and dorks. I'll get to it in a second, because the whole thing just came off very goofy, right? There's a method to the madness here. Just follow me. Here you got Doja Cat in basically the prime of her career, mixing it up with people she shouldn't have. But that's that low self-esteem, always seeking the approval of Caucasian people. And she was able to get out of that situation. And then she starts to melt down because she is the type of person that wants fame and celebrity, but she don't want to be a celebrity. She just wants people to like her. Music was just a part of that. Maybe she never expected to be a big star, but she had the look, right? They wanted to push the next Rihanna or whoever, right? The next non-white female in pop. And then, you know, you had Doja Cat make her way over into rap. And people were like, what are you doing? Like, you know, and that, you know, she felt like she had to try to prove people wrong that she could go from different genres, whether it's pop to rap or whatnot. And the thing is when you have these self-sabotagers, Doja Cat is a self-sabotager. She crashed out on her own supporters. Mind you, this is when she's in the prime of her career. Back in 2023, she's crashing out and going off on her followers. I think she did that because she was dating a Caucasian guy who had a very questionable past. And she got upset at her fans for that. And I think that rubbed a lot of them the wrong way. And I think a lot of them stopped supporting her. These artists have to understand, you only have a certain window, especially if you're not making great music. Now, again, you're going to probably have a Doja Cat fan who listens to this. She makes great music, Jay. Well, is she? I don't see anybody out here talking about the great music Doja Cat is doing. That's why this latest album flopped, because the fans didn't care for it. There was no word of mouth, right? That's usually what helps albums do well, is word of mouth, right? You have the first week sales, but then you have a consistent week to week where fans are consistently buying it to where it gets the big number that she may have been expecting. And I think that because the last album underperformed, now she's turned to a streamer because that's easier to do. And that's what she's always wanted to do. I think Doja always wanted to just be a regular girl, but the validation and money that comes with it. She's no different than these female rappers. I've told y'all this. Most of these female rappers don't care about the art. They just care about being famous and making money. Look at Lotto. She couldn't wait to get with 21 Savage and be on his side while he's married for years until he finally accepted her. His validation means everything to her. You look at Megan Thee Stallion, all these people out here dating celebrity after celebrity on social media, twerking it up. It's about fame and money. Look at Saweetie. I mean, my goodness. Look at these artists, a bunch of groupies trying to get with famous dudes, not focusing on the art, not focusing on making great music. Look at Cardi B. You know, not making no consistent music, not consistently on the road. I mean, Cardi just went on tour, yes, but how many years did she wait to go on tour this time? So, Doja Cat is no different, but her vice was the validation from your average everyday, person, especially in the Caucasian community. And now she has the money. She has the validation. She has fans. Now she just gets to do what she wants to do, because I just don't think she has a passion for music. Now she's just a streamer critiquing other artists now. You know it's over when you see Doja Cat, an artist like her who has a name. Let's be real, she has a name. Critiquing another artist. You just don't really see that unless there's beef there. But she's critiquing him. She is becoming a content creator, a streamer, because it's easy to do that. In her mind, by the way. I'm not saying it's easy, because none of this stuff is easy. You have to put work into it. But for her, all she ever wanted, yes, she liked the fame and what comes with it, but she don't like the responsibility. She doesn't like people looking into her personal life. She doesn't like the fact that people will screenshot her being in these weird chat rooms with weirdos. She wants to be able to do what she wants to do. So now she can stream on Twitch and twerk it up like y'all been seeing on these clips. And she ain't the only artist, by the way. There's other artists too who are now streamers because they know it's a lot of money in streaming, and you get to just say and do whatever. And that's what they want to do. She wants to be able to do things without being, I guess, without being under a microscope. But she's always going to be under a microscope until she's quit music completely, which she might as well do, because is she putting out any music right now that people want to listen to? The latest album flopped. So she's at a place where a lot of these women are. They want the money. They want the fame, the validation, but they don't want to put the work in. Now, now I will say this. Doja Cat has put work in, performing, working as far as music is concerned. She's not like some of these other artists that don't like going in the studio. They hate going in the studio. She will actually go in the studio, so I give her credit with that. But you can just tell, being a streamer, she's probably happier being a streamer than she is being an artist, because she feels like she can be herself. And at some point, a lot of these self-sabotagers always will sabotage your situations in order to just do whatever they want to do. And for her, I guess, is being a streamer. It goes back to what happened almost 6 years ago. And her being in that Tinychat. And then you look at how she has methodically basically taken a sledgehammer to her support base. To where now she's streaming on Twitch, possibly getting 5,000-6,000 live viewers. That's not a small bit, especially on Twitch. But you know, you're an artist that the media pushed. You're a media darling when it came to the industry. But she never wants. I don't think she cares about. She's not a Nicki Minaj. When Nicki Minaj actually cares about being an artist, she doesn't want to be anything other than an artist. She wants to be. She wants to be number one. Doja Cat don't want to be number one. She don't have it to be number one. Nicki Minaj is very cutthroat. You know what I'm saying? She will beef with any of these women who come for her spot. Doja Cat ain't that type of person. I'm not saying she should beef, but she does not have that competitive spirit that you have to have in music. That's why these artists make albums, go on tours, do a lot of appearances, because they want to be visual as an artist. And Doja Cat doesn't want that. She wants to be a regular person, just with money and fame. So let me know what you think in the comment section below. Let me know your thoughts. Like the video and share it. Follow me on all my social media platforms, and I'll see y'all next one.